Got
I mean,
mind control, two thought steals, kind of standard priest affair. But it does look like a pretty solid deck right now.
yeah. I mean, I make a lot of. I have 9 priest decks, dude. I definitely have some similar to
Every
this one.
deck. is a priest.
Literally every deck is a priest deck when it comes to my deck thingy. So I actually have to say something about this, right? Like I have to have some sort of knowledge about this. But yeah, the Light of Naru obviously is going to be really nice with Injured Blade Master. We've seen it played with Velen as a way to stabilize in the late game. But overall against Aggro is pretty nice. And I guess that's what he's replacing the Holy Smites by. Because, you know, you need spells for that Wild Pyromancer to be effective. I'm not sure how much I like that. I might like one of each better. Just because, you know, they're so different. And having 2 Lights of Naru in hand can be kind of annoying sometimes. But then again, there's the Akanai Soul Priest as well to use the Light of Naru with. That's always really, really nice. And yeah, he's pushing for the late game. I mean, Sneed Soul Shredder and Mind Control, 2 of the most efficient cards, to call them that. So if he can get there, if he can stabilize, he can definitely swing a lot of momentum in his way. The one that does surprise me though is the double Cabal. I know Cabal is one of the strongest 6-drops out there, but I'm not sure it's that great in the current metagame, especially without the Shrinkmeisters being run in this deck.
Yeah, the 2 Cabals. I mean, for a tournament setting too, we see so many people playing things like Druid, and then it's just not very useful in those matches. Especially, you're right, without the Shrink, it loses so much of its play potential. You have to just wait for your opponent to actually give you a creature to steal sometimes.
Yeah.
I liked what you said a lot about the Pyromancers with the Light of the Naru. I hadn't considered that too much. I was mostly looking at the Soul Priest, and you know, you can use them for damage. But yeah, they do fill that spot nicely where you need a spell to make the Pyromancer do damage, and it's also going to be giving you another creature, so you're eliminating their board and making yours stronger, which could be pretty potent at some points in the battle.
Definitely. Yeah, I think this deck is going to be really good against other control decks. Thoughtsteal is one of the best cards against control decks as well, so we could see a really cool matchup if it happens between this and Strifecro's Hunter. I would be really interested to see that.
Yeah, that would definitely be quite something. Did he have Shadow Word Death?
Yeah,
yes,
double.
He has
double Shadow Word Death.
Two Shadow Word Death. So yeah, very.
We're in the game,
prepared.
dude, bro. I cannot believe it, but we are in the game right now.
Okay, yeah. So. We have Strifecro with Hunter, and that's Neira on Rogue. So okay, wow. So this is the crazy Hunter deck we were just talking about. It's quite nice for him to have the Haunted Creeper because, well, he plays Web Spinner, I suppose. He could have had a 1-drop, but the Web Spinner is his only 1-drop.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I thought it was weird we didn't see Web Spinner used in any of the aggressive Hunter decks. It seems like only the more control-oriented ones actually put it to use.
Right. We have Lackluster, turn 3 for Strifecro here.
Yeah. When you're carrying a Sludge Belcher and Lothab, probably going to miss a couple turns.
Yeah. Then again, those are great cards to have against Rogue, so can't be too sad about it. Edwin Van Cleef is going to come down, though.
Strifecro's completely prepared for this in a number of ways.
Of course he is. I mean, come on.
Well, it's good to see because, I mean, he definitely needs to get to later in the battle and then punish the Rogue with larger creatures. So if he had just gotten steamrolled at the start, it would probably be pretty easy to lose with a deck like he's playing.
Yeah, this is kind of a tough decision just because, you know, do you Hunter's Mark or do you Owl it? And Hunter's Mark seems like the obvious choice.
Yeah. If you Hunter's Mark, it dies. So that's a little better, right? Because if you silence it, it's still a 2/2 and that will kill the creature. But if you Hunter's Mark, you're not using all your mana for this turn. So I don't know. See what he chooses to do, I suppose.
I mean, if you owl it, how do you kill it though? I mean, it's just a 2/2, I suppose. But I think Hunter's Mark. Oh, he will owl it.
I think Owl's the more greedy play because a rogue is not going to have a lot of other things to silence, so it's good to play that when he can.
You see, that's what I was thinking, but is that still true with Tinker Sharp Sword Oil?
Oh, the silence?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you're right that if he puts the oil on something, I think this is, he's removing 4 damage. It's actually slightly better than removing the oil, because the oil is only 3 damage. He runs the risk of not being able to kill that, though, which could be a bit frustrating.
So, Sludge Belcher, maybe, would be the choice here. Face with the spider, it's already getting ignored anyway. Lowering it.
It's really interesting how the rogue has taken that much damage already. He hasn't played a lot of creatures, but I guess on those turns that he was steady shotting, it starts to add up.
Yeah, and I mean, this is not the deck that's really pushing as hard for that damage as a Face Hunter would be, so this has to feel alright for Strifecro. He just needs to draw into that Dr. Boom in the next 2 turns, and then he'll be really happy. Who wouldn't be? That is, of course... Wait. Is Neira also running Dr. Boom?
Probably. Most of the rogues have that as almost an auto-include because it's so good to get some creatures on the board.
Yeah, that's insane.
No, he's not actually.
Oh, wow.
So there you go. His largest creature in the rogue deck is Lotheb.
Alright.
I don't know. What do you think Strifecro does here? Lotheb's a pretty good play because he has stuff on the board, but the rogue's Lotheb will kill the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, I mean, you still could get rid of the Van Cleef at least with the Sludge Belcher, so it may not be the end of the world.
I can't help but look at Strifecro's hand and just wish he had all charge creatures at this point.
Yeah.
He's got a kill command in there. If he had 2 arcane golems, game could be over already.
Oh, wow. Chooses not to clear the Van Cleef. That's a little bit surprising for me. But I shall not question God.
I find it a bit surprising too, because the Van Cleef perfectly kills the ooze that comes out of the Sludge Belcher.
Yeah, and survives.
That silence is certainly showing what it's done to the battle instead of a Hunter's Mark now.
Yeah. What this does do for Strifecro though is Unleash, becomes a little bit more powerful. Maybe that's what he was playing or planning towards.
Do we want to try to count the damage in the rogue's hand right now? So I think Strifecro just wants to hit him in the face again. He's got the ability to get him to 11 just based on what's already on the board, and he's at 28. But he's looking at taking a lot of damage next turn, and certainly the rogue has quite a few options to choose from there. I'm not sure what his total burst ability is right now, though.
Here's the Hunter's Mark. I like it. So he's going to be able to attack face with a Lotheb still, which is really nice. While clearing the board. Getting 2 spiders on it as well. Yeah, I really like this play.
Yeah, I do too. He looks like he's in a great position now. The rogue has the choices available, so we'll see what he can do to dismantle this board. But you got to be feeling under pressure at 10 health against a hunter.
Under pressure. There's a backstep here, so Blade Flurry very likely to come here.
I'm pretty sure the only traps that Strifecro is running are Freezing Trap, so the Freezing Trap won't be too effective if those recruits take it.
Yeah, so Strifecro on the back foot now. I mean, he has a kill
he
command
has
and,
lethal, right? 3 damage plus 5 in stay shot.
That is lethal. Insane, dude. Out of nowhere.
Definitely a good game. I mean, that was surprising that he won in such a quick fashion with that deck. I'm a little disappointed. I would have liked to see some of the larger creatures come out, but showing the strength of that deck, even though he didn't draw his big creatures, it was still quite a quick battle for him.
Yeah, and thank you, Dylan, for having my back with the math there. It's never been my thing.
Oh yeah, I do Hearthstone math all day, every day. So sometimes it comes to you.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a pretty quick game, unexpected, of a deck that seems like it's not that aggressive from Strifecro, as opposed to Neira's deck, which reads as more aggressive, right? It seemed like Strifecro would be the one on the defensive in that matchup, but not the case.
Yeah, I think that worked out really well for Strifecro because Neira had Sap in his hand, right? So if he had had a high main on turn 6, let's say, and he plays the high main, it gets sapped, and now he's behind and he hasn't done any damage for that turn. But because he played such small creatures, there was nothing to sap. The Lotheb was perfect. It did 5 damage, bottom a turn. Just a great play all around.
Yeah, very solid play from Strifecro, and we're about ready to go into game 2, I think. Bob? With Gucci.
So what do you think he'll bring next? The Hunter's out of the way. That looks like probably the most wild of his decks, so he has quite a few stable choices now, what Strifecro could bring. Wouldn't surprise me to see the Rogue played again from Neira, just to...
It's gonna be a Rogue versus Rogue matchup, dude.
So
anything can happen.
Yeah, either way, so many choices to be made in this match. It's mind-boggling when you look at their hands sometimes.
Should we talk about differences between this player's rogues?
Okay, sure. So yes, we have, they're pretty similar. We have the Dr. Boom in Strifecro's deck, and we have no Dr. Boom in Neira's deck. Other than that, they look almost identical. I'm trying to figure out what card changed there.
Yeah, I'm not spotting it either yet.
It's tough when it's just one card difference. They're very, very similar decks, to say the least, so it should be... I mean, this match is not a lot of what you included in the deck, it's more what you've drawn, because it always ends way before you've gotten through all of your cards.
I feel like I'm racing you to find a different card and I'm losing, man. You're trying to distract me by talking and stuff. Fan of Knives. Found it. Got it.
Did he cut one?
Yeah, Strifecro seems to have an extra... Or no, Neira has the extra Fan of Knives, I think.
No, Strifecro.
Nope. There's 2 card difference, dude. Wow, this just got harder. That's what she said.
In any case, we have... I think I like Strifecro's hand a little better here. The Violet Teacher is a really strong card in this match. It's got 5 health, so it's one of the toughest things to kill. And then you can't leave it sitting on the board. Plus, it comes at a really early turn. So
got him, dude. I got the two different cards. I got it, dude.
Hey, what's the secret?
I got it. 1 extra sprint and 1 Shiv versus 1 Dr. Boom and 1 Fan of Knives.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. He does only have 1 Fan of Knives. Okay, so Neira cut a Fan of Knives and has a sprint and no Dr. Boom. And Strifecro has a Dr. Boom and 1 less sprint. That's about correct, I think.
Yeah.
So that's actually kind of a big difference. I mean, the Sprint is a really major card, and so is Dr. Boom. They both cost 7 mana, but they fulfill completely different purposes. Although in this match, like, Dr. Boom is really good against rogues, but the battle could be over by turn 7, so... Or so much in the momentum of one side that you wouldn't have time to play Dr. Boom. Really depends.
Yeah, so it's gonna come down to which card is more useful, depending on how the game is shaping up to that point. And yeah, like you said, both cards are very different, so neither card is gonna get the advantage from the judges here, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll really have to see how it plays out. The rogue battles are so crazy. I couldn't make any judgment, honestly. You always just watch and see the miracles at work. So Strifecro also had the option to play a Tinker Oil there by using a prep, and that would have got him 1 more dude, but he just did the Deadly Poison. He probably wants to make sure that his Tinker Oil will be able to attack on the same turn that he plays it. Because with 2 preps, you wouldn't imagine you'd want to save both of them for anything too spectacular.
Yeah. And a McFlurry being forced out of Neira here. Do you think that's good? I mean, this would be bad in other matchups, but rogue versus rogue, there's really not that many scary boards that you're gonna have to deal with, I guess. So that looked inefficient, but maybe that was just fine.
I don't know. I think that was fine. Like, Blade Flurry is not too important of a play, and it got some AoE done. But Strifecro hasn't taken any damage. Normally when you flurry, you want them to be 18 health at least, and then you're pushing for a kill off of that. But at 25, it's a long way to go before he actually has a chance at winning still.
Lotheb, probably the most annoying person to ever see when you're a rogue.
Yep.
It's like, oh, look, there's Lotheb. Oh. Like you see him in the corner walking by, you know, at a party, and you're like, oh, Lotheb.
He showed up. Neira actually put Lotheb in every single one of the decks that he's playing today. So nice. Certainly, oh, never mind. No, he doesn't have it in the priest deck. Every other deck. Certainly one of the more popular cards at the moment, though. Rogues become pretty prevalent, and then it's useful in all the matches, really. Yeah,
even Mech Mage. You know, when they're pushing for damage on your face, and you know they got their fireballs.
And then a 5/5 for 5 mana is quite reasonable stats too.
Mm-hmm.
So we see kind of a difference in strategy here now. We have the sprint coming out. I mean, maybe Strifecro would sprint if he had it, but certainly Neira is much more interesting in cards than any type of board control at the moment. Yeah, whereas Strifecro looks like he's applying pressure.
Yeah, Neira is hovering over Edward Van Cleef. Edwin is what people call him normally. Is that
that play? Seems like a good play. He played 2 cards, so it would be a 6/6.
Mm-hmm. There she is.
Probably the other consideration would have been playing his weapon. I don't think he would want to play one of the lesser 3-drops, but with nothing to use on the weapon next turn, there wasn't really an advantage.
He could have healed the Lotheb as well. That would have been alright, I think.
True, actually. Yeah, that would have been a pretty good play here.
Mm-hmm. And prep. So Strife got pushing for damage here. And he has the Blade Flurry to clear the board as well. I like this play very much.
Yeah, that is really nice. Especially, you know, he has the sprint in hand. He could have chosen the same route there to go for cards, but he saw damage. Let's push it. He's got the Eviscerate even. And he could sprint into more quite easily with 30 health still. Looks really good for him here.
Yeah, there is a heal bot, but with 6 damage on board from the other heal bot, plus the 3 from the secret agent, super agent, then, you know, it's a little bit tough of a turn for Neira here. What do you do?
I think Neira might be dead. He doesn't have a lot of plays. He could play the SI agent and the deckhand, but yeah, there's the Eviscerate. So Strifecro has no way to get combo for the Eviscerate, but that actually doesn't matter unless all of the creatures died.
Is that a heal bot he has? He could heal bot Farseer, I guess.
I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of choices. These matches, rogue versus rogue, get so crazy. It's pretty difficult to follow sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Healbot deckhand.
So
that's gonna hurt your face, buddy.
He's not actually dead. Strifecro has to draw something to combo. Although that's certainly a good draw in this situation.
Is it ever a bad draw?
Well, if you're on turn
1, maybe. Oh, Dylan's Skype froze, so I guess I'm on my own for now, guys. But you know, I got a feeling that Strifecro is in a pretty good position right now. Look at this, Ghostface doesn't care, doesn't even care. A short drag being played as a means to try and draw something to be useful. And Fan of Knives, I mean, it's nice, but it's pretty rip here for our boy Neira. I hear myself distorted, Rob. Oh, are you back, Dylan?
Yeah, I'm here. Did something go wrong?
Yeah, I think the Skype call died or something.
Hopefully it stays together.
Hopefully. I hear myself robbity. But
Well, we have the victory as Strifecro in any case. It was definitely going his way once he got Neira to 5 health there. It was just going to be very difficult to come back from that.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to check the integrity of the call?
Yeah, what's up with the integrity of the call? What's the play in that, Rob? Give us 1 second, guys.
Poor Rob always gets the tough jobs.
Yeah. We're muted right now?
Okay. I can hear you.
Dylan Yuguchi?
Yep.
We're unmuted. Okay, cool. So, the question I have for chat is if Strifecro has been eating, because I haven't got his camera up. Has he, Rob, from production? Has Strifecro been eating?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, that's 1-1 now, right?
I think it's 2-0. 2-0 for
2-0?
Strifecro. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. For Shizzle.
Well, that's looking good then.
Someone in chat said missed lethal. Is this a fact? Because we have a graphic for missed lethal, so you have to tell me, Dylan, if anyone's about to miss lethal potentially. Because we have a graphic, and we really want to use it. But no one's missed lethal apparently.
That's a
so
tough
far.
match. I don't think he missed lethal. I mean, it was a bit unclear at the end there, but he played Dr. Boom, right? And he had played both preps, so if he sprinted, he wouldn't have been able to play the Eviscerate.
Dude, we got the dream matchup. We got the dream right now. It's gonna be a priest against a warrior. The dream.
Yeah, definitely a good match. A lot of control elements here. We get to see that priest deck put into play in probably one of its better matches, so quite excited to see that come down.
Yeah, definitely. This is always a fun matchup. And I'm trying to find the priest list if I can.
There's
I'm
going to be a
gunning for
lot of...
Neira here, man. No one else is bringing priest. I think Oskaka actually is.
Yeah, I think there's one other priest today.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to be a lot of slow turns at the start here. Nobody really wants to commit much in this match early on. You want to wait until you have enough mana to make plays that your opponent can't just easily counter.
Yeah. And Cabal Shadow Priest is actually not bad in this matchup, believe it or not. Just because cutting the warrior from draw by stealing the Acolyte is nice. But even nicer is getting armor from the Armor Smith if you're able to do that, because you know you have to play against around Alexstrasza as a priest, and we see Neira's deck only has really the Lights of Naru to stabilize and a Holy Fire. So
yeah, no
that's
heal
pretty
bots,
good.
right?
Yeah, no heal
Sometimes priests suffer a lot when they just get attacked constantly on their hero, so it's good that he has the Holy Fire at least to maybe save him when Alexstrasza comes out.
Yeah, he has to be really careful with the use of those the Holy Fire, and also potentially the Light of Narus to try and stabilize after Alexstrasza.
So, could just play Sludge here. If he plays that Armor Smith, the moment the Armor Smith goes down, I'm pretty sure it's going to get stolen. Anytime you see Cabal value, you're probably going to take it in this match.
Yeah, and if you can gain armor as a priest, again, that's so valuable. Then you can be a little bit more careless with, you know, Alexstrasza.
Wow, really interesting play there to see him put on the War Axe.
Yeah, he's pushing for damage really quickly. And
Well, and
plays the Holy Fire. Wow.
He had Sludge Belcher, right? So he had a very strong turn 5 that could have built his board more, but maybe he's saving that for a specific purpose. I'm not sure. It's really strange to me to armor up and hit with a War Axe there when you have the option to use a creature.
Yeah, he could have been playing around, crap. The
Shadow
4 mana
Reaping.
Steel minion.
Oh, Shadow Madness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely true, because the Shadow Madness would hit Lotheb.
Yeah.
Ah, the first lighted Naru.
The first light.
I've seen those. I mean, probably this one will just get attacked with the weapon, but sometimes those Light Wardens get absolutely spectacular. For a 1 mana creature, getting up to 15 plus damage can be absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, they can do that out of nowhere too. But of course not with an Honkanai on board.
Yeah. A lot of choices here.
This is a lot more aggressive of a matchup so far than I thought it was going to be. I thought both players would sit back a little bit more, but they've been playing their threats so far.
Yeah, they haven't really been holding back, have they?
No, not at all.
It's not what I would term exactly aggressive. They're still trading on the board, but they're not playing slow. They're playing at the pace that they can.
Indeed.
Is there any good answer to that? No, that's pretty good, I guess. Yeah. Because if you just play the Sylvanas there, the Sylvanas would die to the Shield Maiden, and that would be horrible.
Yeah.
He has the silence for it, though. There's many things in the priest match that you want to be silencing, so if he could see a better way to deal with that, maybe attack and then use his weapon, he might want to save the silence for another moment.
Yeah, it's quite possible indeed. And he doesn't know exactly this, but I mean, Sneed Soul Shredder is in the deck. That could be a really silenceable target. As is many things that he could get dot stolen or what else do we have for threats? Vol'jin. Vol'jin's a nice silence target as well.
Also, the thing that he mind controls could probably be silenced. I like this play a lot too, because even if he silences it, it's still a 5/5, which would trade for the Shield Maiden. So you might as well just use up the Shield Maiden, save the silence for later.
Yeah, and you got plenty of armor.
Yes, he definitely has a lot of health right now. He can wait around. Is he going to play the Pyro?
Pyro is not very good in this matchup, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
If he plays the Pyromancer here and he uses the Light of the Naru first, he could draw a ridiculous number of cards by using the Circle of Healing. Once the Pyromancer has damaged all 4 creatures, he would be drawing somewhere around 5 cards this turn, I think.
Yeah, he might be going for that. I think he's considering it. Of course, this is great, a great play, but at the same time, it drains a lot of your cards, right? So, oh, and the little woman's gonna get huge. So that's
yeah,
nice.
the Light Warden will be.
I mean, she will die instantly
massive.
though to the death rattle of the weapon.
He can still use his hero power to heal once more.
Oh, and also gets a nice power word shield. Using it may not be too wise though.
So yeah, this is definitely a strategy choice for anyone that has played this match before. You have a lot of different ways you can approach killing your opponent, but the priest at this point is committed to actually winning the battle against the warrior. He can't go to fatigue at this point because he's 6 cards ahead or some large amount like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the bad thing about this play, you could say. It kind of puts you all in to some extent.
So what do you think you'd do here? If you use the weapon, it kills the Pyromancer on its own. Maybe you could hit the Light Warden, but that's kind of painful.
Yeah, it definitely is.
If you use the Taskmaster on the Light Warden, then that would pick up the extra 1 damage.
I think that's what he has to do pretty much.
Do you? I mean, there are so many plays here. He doesn't even have to acknowledge that there's a threat yet. He could even Alexstrasza. He doesn't have the Grom, so that'd probably be pretty crazy, but Alexstrasza here, and then he's not going to die for another 2 turns, so he could set up for a kill. Seems like a huge number of possible plays.
Yeah, 11 damage though on a minion that's 1 damage off of dying. It seems like you almost have to clear it.
So he didn't play the Acolyte. If he had played the Acolyte, he would have got a card drop, but then that would get stolen, of course, next turn.
Yeah, and plays it after.
Wow, I have to feel that's a mistake.
Yeah, it has to be.
Because he had the ability to get the free draw. Why would you not take it?
And same goes for the Armor Smith as well. Maybe he didn't plan his turn in time.
Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of armor. I don't think damaging the Armor Smith was quite as necessary, but that's such a standard warrior play to use that 1 damage from the weapon to get you a free draw, and now he's going to lose it to not getting any draws with 4 cards. This is pretty terrible.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a tough choice as a priest even, but I mean, I think limiting the warrior in cards because of how the game has been playing is far more valuable at this point than stealing the armor smith would be. And
yeah, I agree. I think that fits his strategy, right? He was drawing and then stopped the warrior from drawing. Works quite well together.
And the warrior only had 4 cards in hand, so I think that's definitely the better choice. If not for the draw for yourself, more than that to stop the warrior from drawing himself.
So this is one of those matches where it looks like the priest is in complete control right now. I mean, I look at the warrior's hand and I wonder, how can he possibly dig his way out of this situation? But very often I'm surprised that it turns around in just 1 or 2 turns. From such a completely losing point, you can recover and actually be winning in a short matter of time if you have the right moves.
Yeah, Brawl would be one of the cards that can really swing a game quite easily.
So what do you think he plays? I might just play Ragnaros here, and it's going to kill something.
It's really difficult. I wouldn't mind Alexstrasza. Just because, you know, it seems like he needs to start putting out some damage.
Yeah.
And Ragnaros, you know, if it goes face, it feels wasted if you play Alexstrasza after that. But he's going to go with the Rag play, hoping to kill one of the fatter minions.
Yeah, these are good odds on the Ragnaros, right? To be able to... He's got 3 chances to hit a creature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately, it's one of the ones that he wanted to hit.
So Neira has the choices now. He has both Shadow Word Death and Mind Control.
Goes for the Thought Steal. Gets the big game hunter.
Oh,
all right.
my.
Man, if he draws a Dr. Boom, is he running Dr. Boom?
I don't think so.
Because if he draws a Dr. Boom, it's just like over, right?
No, he's not. He has a Sneeds, though. Sneeds would certainly end it here. That big game hunter draw.
Oh, no. I didn't mean... I meant just Dr. Boom for the morale, you know, like... It's like, oh, really, Dr. Boom? That kind of thing.
You love Dr. Boom.
That
big game hunter, though, was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, he could have mind controlled the Ragnaros, right? He still had the backup play of Shadow Word Death, but he went for the greedy choice, and boy, did it pay off big. He's now gets to save both his mind control and Shadow Word Death for later.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, yeah, exactly. He had the Shadow Word Death ready to go for Ragnaros, so respectable play. Though I think I would have mind controlled myself because the Shadow Word Death could be a little bit better, like to use on Alexstrasza rather than Ragnaros. A, because it's, you know, weaker of a minion to have on your side, and B, because you want the mana to start healing up after Alexstrasza. So a little bit surprising, but I mean, it works out perfectly for him.
Yeah, I was surprised by that as well, because if you mind controlled the Ragnaros, it would take off a lot of the warrior's armor that he'd built up, to the point that he couldn't shield slam Ragnaros, but certainly we can't question the play as it ended up being the best possible you could imagine.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know.
He's a very tough spot.
He didn't even play anything last turn, right? He just knows that he needs a brawl at this point, and there's no single creature he could put down to matter.
Yeah, he really needs to silence the Sneeds, get a brawl, and have the owl survive. That would be the play.
Well, it's a good card, but it's not going to help him.
Not at all.
Is he dead next turn? The Holy Fire was played already, so he probably wouldn't quite die next turn. No. To see him not even... Here? Yeah, he passed last turn completely. He didn't even play the Sledge Belcher. I think he just recognizes that there's no way he's going to win unless he gets the brawl, so why throw away some creatures? Let's just hope we get it.
Yeah, once again even.
The priest has to consider which card he actually wants to play now. His hand is full. Not a very tough decision, though. As the priest, you could feel confident playing anything here.
You could mind control that owl, man.
You could. He could actually mind control the owl at this point, and I'm pretty sure he'd still be okay.
Yeah. Doesn't want to draw any cards though. Okay, solid Holy Nova, I like it. It's one of the more useless cards in his hand, really, in this particular matchup. And he's not gonna overdraw because nothing's damaged.
Well, let's see if it's Brawl.
And Fiery War Axe. Strifecro chooses death, and Priest prevails. One more time.
Well, that was really good. I mean, that Priest just looked absolutely dominant in that match. Once he got the card draws off of that Pyromancer play, there was no stopping him. He had everything available to him. More choices than he could even use.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So that was the first win for Neira, right? I'm sure he's glad to have taken that one.
Yeah. So it's 2-1. Is that the score right now? Yeah, we Gucci. 2-1. Strifecro still leads the series. But Neira with a comeback here with the Priest. So I'm cheering for him now, even though Strifecro is my homie.
Yeah, I have to say I'm cheering a bit for Neira too. I like Strifecro. Certainly he's one of the star players, but Neira has brought more interesting decks, I guess. Just the fact that he has a Shaman and a Priest in there makes him stand out a lot from the other players. So it's good to see him not get run over in a 4-0 or anything, and we get a chance to see these decks actually played.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he'll bring the Shaman next?
I would like that.
I would like that too, but probably that's one of the less consistent decks, so I don't know. What does Strifecro have left to bring? Well, he's bringing Mage, and it is the Shaman. There you go.
I'm actually quite sad that we don't get to see the Priest again. It's just too good of a deck, you know?
Yeah, that was a great game. I mean, that was a game that you could look at and be like, the Priest made every single choice perfectly. We can see what's in the Warrior's hand, but he did it just absolutely flawless on every turn, even knowing what the cards were.
Even knowing what the cards from Thoughtsteal were going to be. And and Strifecro, I mean, did make a mistake, I think, in not drawing a card off of the Acolyte, but I'm not sure how much of a difference that would have made in the end.
Yeah. If Brawl had been the very next card, we could say it might have been huge, but... Alright, so Shaman against Mech Mage. This is very uncommon to see like a non-Mech Shaman played out, so I don't have a lot of experience with how this match will end up.
Yeah, I mean, the Wolves have to be pretty good, and the Lightning Storms are going to be great.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, Hex, not as good as it would be in other matchups. Your Crackle might show up, though.
I think you're right about Lightning Storm. We see the Mech Shamans will not run Lightning Storm most of the time, and that's a card that, in this match, all of the Mage cards have a low health value, so it's certainly going to be spectacular once he draws that.
Yeah. Rob, is there a problem with the call? Is the stream getting the call just fine? We Gucci? Okay, that's good. Okay, so trades in for Mr. Spiders, and both of those spiders would potentially die there.
So I guess he traded that because the spider wouldn't die when it attacked the Annoyatron, and now the Annoyatron does beat the two 1/1s in a straight up fight here.
Yeah.
But the damage to the Shaman's hero seems like really important resource in this match. The Shamans should certainly be able to win once he's drawn his utility cards to overcome the Mage's stuff. Things like Mirror Entity probably are not going to be super potent as they are in some other matches.
All right. Yeah, Rob, the screen share is lagging for me, actually. Okay, we good, G.
Do I sound okay?
You sound okay on stream, and you sound a little bit roboty to me. So
All
it is what it is, I suppose.
I'll be a robot today.
I mean, I enjoy robots. They're nice. Second
Well.
Annoyatron. Strifecro flooding the board a bit.
So the Blast Mage will certainly be really good. Like, what can he play to not take an insane amount of damage from that Blast Mage? It looks almost impossible. It's going to kill so much here.
Indeed.
If he pops the spider first, it probably kills both of the creatures out of the spider. If he chose to trade the Cogmaster and the Harvest Golem, it could kill everything on the board.
Yeah, he's going for that. Ooh. Yep. That was the backup plan, though. Leaves the... I know you're trying to attack last and clear whatever's left. So he's not going to care that it was a 2-1 over a 1-1, of course.
Yeah, Neira's hand's pretty poor right now. He's gotten most of the... I mean, 4 5s in his hand, and we're not even on turn 5 yet. At least he had something good to play, but he needs to draw a utility on the next card, probably, or it's... Nah, he can go one more turn, I suppose. He has a 5 mana after all.
Yeah, Lightning Storm would be fantastic here. Strifecro going face, putting out some more damage. I know your turns are so annoying, man. And there's the Sludge Belcher. Help mitigate some damage and perhaps buy him another turn to draw that that Lightning Storm that he seems to need so desperately.
So, Archmage is definitely what you want. If you can stack up some fireballs, the Shaman has no way to heal his hero, so their health is just a static amount here. He could do 7 damage this turn by the looks of it. And that would leave the Shaman at 10.
Interesting choice. What do you think about killing the piloted Shredder there?
I'm not sure. I mean, he got the Mirror Entity, so in that sense it seems good, but when he knows he's going to get a guaranteed fireball, I think I would just go for it right now. See if I can get one attack through next turn and guarantee he's dead.
Yeah, still regardless, Strifecro in a fantastic position right now. And what can Neira do? Is there anything he can do?
So let's see. I think if he plays the Sludge Belcher and he kills the Blast Mage, he could go down to 8, but yeah, it's bad. No Lightning Storm. I mean, Lightning Storm was certainly what you want the entire way through this match. It's kind of the card you're praying for. Oof, right, and of course the Mirror Entity. I don't think there's any way now.
Yeah, good old Antonidas. Probably gonna be making his debut here. Or not. Alright, trying to get another spare part, I suppose. He can almost guarantee that next turn. I mean, it's either that or 2 damage from two-face from the Clockwork.
Yeah, I think he just guarantees he wins now. There's no healing in the Shaman's deck, so as soon as the Shaman goes below 7 HP, it's not going to be possible. Well, it was an interesting match to see. I mean, this was a bit of a straightforward just play on curve. It was really unfortunate, I think, for Neira that he drew all of those 5s. He had 4 different 5 drops, and they weren't even on turn 5 yet. Yeah. No utility plays. Like, he has 2 2 Rock Biters, 2 Earth Shocks. Didn't draw any of those spells to actually remove a creature.
Yeah, that's one of the best things about a deck like the Mech Mage. It's just so reliable every time. Like, you're usually able to play everything on curve, and if your opponent doesn't draw properly, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble.
I felt like the stream was, or the Skype was going a bit slow. Do you want me to try to reconnect to it, or?
Yeah, maybe that would do it. Okay, so let's take a quick 2-minute break here, guys, just to sort out some Skype issues, and we'll be right back. Strifecro leads 3-1, I believe. So,
Yep.
match point for him coming up. We'll be right back.
Okay. All right. It seemed better. Like, it seemed really good at the start. But yeah.
Okay, Dylan, can you hear me?
Yep. I can.
And we are Gucci, guys. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go without webcams for the last game, as GoToMeeting is failing us, and we don't want to delay this. So we'll just get started with the next match between Strifecro and Neira, and sort that out in the next break.
So we have to see the one deck now that Strifecro had lost with, which I think was the Warrior deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and Neira really has all the choices in front of him. He knows he's going to be going against the Warrior, so it'll be interesting to see what he brings, but in reality, he would have to beat the Warrior deck with every single one of his remaining decks, so it might not matter much what he brings, because in the end, each match would have to be played out for him to win.
Yeah, I might even want to bring the weakest deck, just because, you know, it's the biggest obstacle that he's going to have to tackle, so might as well get it out of the way.
Okay. That would also be quite a morale boost if he could win with the deck he felt was least favored and then move on to things he thought were better choices.
Yeah, definitely. And the game is starting. And he's going to pick the druid. So, I mean, this is a pretty even matchup, I think.
I don't know. I'd say this is pretty even, actually. A lot of it depends on if the warrior can actually counter the early threats that the druid brings. Each game, the druid will have a different threat that they bring just based on what their mana curve was like in the opening, and then the warrior will always have a way to stop them if they drew an equally good hand. But as soon as something goes unchecked on the board, the damage adds up really fast, and then you get comboed, and it's over already.
Yeah, and there's a Wild Growth and an Innervate in Neira's hand, so that's pretty much the dream, man.
That is definitely what you want against a warrior. Did he mulligan the Sludge Belcher, or did he keep that?
I am not quite sure.
I think he kept that. That's kind of an interesting keep, because it doesn't work with the mana curve of his hand very well. You would want a 4-drop to play immediately after Wild Growthing, or something to innervate, like a 7.
Well, he would be able to innervate the Sludge Belcher, right? If he just plays the Wild Growth now, next turn, he can get the Sludge Belcher down.
He can, but he's wasting 1 mana doing this. He could play a 6-mana creature next turn with the innervate. So it wouldn't surprise me to just see him pass and save the innervate for later.
Alright, we'll see what he decides to do here.
Swipe is certainly not. I mean, he has combo already. He could play combo on 7 mana.
Disgusting, man. Has combo already out of nowhere.
Not what you want in your opening hand, though. That's like having Dr. Boom in your opening hand.
Is that actually bad, though?
No, Dr. Boom would be really good right now. He could play it next turn, so
yeah,
that would be one of the best draws. Ugh, another spell. Well, he didn't need this turn, at least. There aren't that many big creatures in this Druid deck, though. We have the 2 Ancients of Lore, Dr. Boom, and Cenarius, and that's the only things that cost 7 or more mana, so that Innervate might lose its value pretty quickly here.
Yeah, definitely. Unless he goes... I mean, he already has a combo in hand. Maybe he draws the 2nd Savage Roar, and that's pretty insane, dude. Combo with Innervate.
Yeah, it looks like he did draw the 2nd Savage Roar too, right? So that is very, very insane. You have to wait until 10 mana to be able to do it, but the combo damage with absolutely no creatures on the board is 22, which is so much. I mean, that's 2 Pyroblasts plus a bit with nothing on the board.
It's outright disgusting. So what do you think of this? Because this is what I thought of a fix, right? Because neither card is too powerful on its own, right? The Savage Roar or the Force of Nature. Okay. What if Force of Nature costed 8 and it gave you 1 extra tree guy?
Do you not like the combo? I think the combo is a really good mechanic, actually.
Really?
It's a bit frustrating, surely. You're playing a priest, so some matchups it's a bit frustrating, surely, but it's a lot harder to get board control. Like most of the time when I play Druid, I play without the combo at all. And I just go only creatures, because when you have that many creatures in your hand, it's a lot easier to make sure that you're winning on the board. But we can see he has combo here, and because of that, there's not a lot of other things he actually has a choice of playing in his hand. So it's not all benefits after all.
Yeah. I like that he made the Panther a Panther. He's going to put a lot of damage onto Strifecro here.
That's true. He played right into the weapon, though. The 4/6 would not have quite died.
Yeah, perhaps it's almost a bait, you know, like hit me with your face kind of thing.
Another Innervate. Ugh. That's pretty horrible. Well, he could play the double combo next turn. Say that the Keeper lived, it would be 28 damage. So if the Keeper survived this turn and nothing was done to prevent damage, I'm pretty sure he wins.
See, what a great mechanic, man. Like, let me just stress on how great of a mechanic the combo is right now.
I mean,
this game has been fantastic so far, and there's a minion on board.
from Strife's perspective, right, he feels not a threat at all. He thinks, well, you know, worst that happens, it's one combo that's going to do 18 damage. I'm in no threat. Play Sylvanas, maybe. He does have ways to deal with that creature, and the moment he kills that creature, he won't die. So it's a really important decision here. It's almost no way he could know he's actually looking at lethal. Yeah, you're right. It's such a small creature on the board.
I mean,
but he is thinking about it.
Belcher. All right, that would do it as well. Strifecro is too good, man. Place around the innervate
really smart. I mean, Sylvanas looked like a great play there, right? He had just played a keeper, so there would be no silence. And then it doesn't trade on it, but he made the safe play, and boy, was that a good choice.
Yeah, do you think it was because of the Panther being played? The charge 4/4? Was
Maybe.
that the tell?
I don't know what would give him that read. I would have played Sylvanas, and I would have died. You really never... This early in the game, he's got double combo and the innervates. He has 2 innervates, which is the only way you could even play double combo on turn 9. Such an unlikely situation, but he saved himself.
Yeah.
That Sludge Belcher takes damage exceptionally well from the combo.
Yeah, it really does.
We're going to have to do this each turn now. So, once again, how much damage could he do? He would use 6 plus 4. The Sludge Belcher would take 10 damage away. I don't know. So it's a lot of math right now.
Yeah, but Strifecro's too good, man. He doesn't need... He already did the math like 4 turns in advance.
He did the math for the most unlikely of possibilities. And now he's in a great position.
Yeah, I mean, he ate, right? Like, we saw him eat, and I think that's crucial here. Like, when Strifecro's hungry, things can go wrong. Maybe he would have played the Sylvanas, maybe he would have died. Maybe he would have gotten really upset. But he ate. We Gucci.
The only thing I could think that would make him play that would be his knowledge that he's not losing on the board, so why take any risk? But, oh, that was just pure brilliance to survive there. Alright. He looks in a great position now, because there's nothing in Neira's hand he can actually play. He just plays the one card he draws every turn and hope that it works out, that he'll be able to get some damage down.
Definitely. Now, the Death Rattle of Sylvanas, I think, goes first, right? So he can't really trade and steal here, can he?
Yeah, I think you're right. I was too busy doing math. I think you're right that Sylvanas was played before the Shredder.
Yeah, I think so.
Certainly he could save himself here. He has things like a silence and a shield slam, but if he was to leave something on the board, he is very close to death. It would add...
Very, very close.
It would be 22 plus the creature damage plus 4 is how much.
Oh, were we wrong? He's considering attacking into the Shredder, so maybe... Was the Shredder played before?
I couldn't actually say. I was distracted.
Mathematics are insane, dude.
They are. When we're doing double combo mathematics, they become certainly not something you do every day.
Yeah. It's not just like adding stuff, you know, there's like multiplication going on. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So apparently Sylvanas was played second.
Well, this is really good for Strifecro.
Yeah, it's looking fantastic, man.
True Claw. I think the only thing that could save Neira would be Ancient of Lore to try to draw more cards. I don't think there's a single card he can ever draw to let him come back from this position now. Even if Strifecro didn't know he had double combo, he'll just try to remove every creature that's played at this point because the game's slow enough that he could do that.
Yeah, like you said, just play safe. That's all he has to do right now. Just maintain his board presence and not take too much damage, really, and that's about it. So, Strifecro in a fantastic position.
Such a frustrating position as the Druid here. You have all this damage. What can you do with it? In a sense, I might be tempted just to play the double combo, do 22, and hope that
No
Maybe
taunts.
he doesn't have a taunt and a shield maiden. There's just not a lot of good choices, so...
But you know what? He's gonna go for it, and I mean, it might just end up working. Oh, never mind. He's gonna go for board control, fight or try to fight the board again.
It's a good trade. He does have another Force of Nature, but how's he gonna win from here? It's got 2 Savage Roars and an Innervate.
Had he gone face with a combo though? Oh, there's the shield block. That would have pretty much ended his hopes.
Yeah, even if he had went face with a combo, he would only have the Druid of the Claw, so he would have to have drawn some additional damage, and the Warrior would not gain health. It'd be pretty unlikely. I just can't really see another way he'll win now. If the Warrior hits that, didn't armor, and he drew the other Force of Nature, I suppose he could still win next turn.
Alright. Great game mechanics, man.
Oh, it's 22 damage. But that would require a top deck, and yeah, it doesn't even work now. He's at 25, so...
Yeah. Strifecro not forgetting this time to attack with his weapon after playing the Acolyte. I'm still not sure if that was a mistake. Strifecro doesn't make mistakes is the thing.
A lot of respect for Strifecro. I mean, I have a lot of respect for him too. Seeing him play around that double combo there was, for sure, I would have been dead. I would have taken the greedy play. There's no way you could suspect it. But he had that star sense to know.
Yeah. Even now, being really careful, executing instead of hitting it with his face and playing a Belcher. So he's just playing extremely cautiously now. He's playing around combo. He's playing around like 3 combos right now.
Yeah, I think he's aware that's kind of the only way he can die. He has 8 armor, 2 shield slams. There's no real creature that could be played. He does actually draw the second Force of Nature. So that means he can't play anything.
So what does Strifecro do here?
I guess you just Harrison and you could play Grom.
Does he have lethal?
No. Oh, he could shield slam his Grom because Grom would have 9 health, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Looks like it would be 17 damage if he did that, so yeah, he's 1 off there.
Ah, damn it. I wish he had it, and I wish he had missed it. So we could use our graphic, man. We have a graphic for it, man. I'm so disappointed right now.
I'm curious to see the graphic. I've not been aware of this. So.
Well, that's because everyone's playing perfectly, dude. No one's missed lethal ever. It's insane.
Yeah. Certainly in these tournaments, I mean, these are great players. They don't make too many mistakes. We saw some questionable plays, but nothing that's a direct mistake at all.
Yeah. And here's Gramash, Hellscream to end things. Not even going to use the shield slime. And Strifecro's going to take the series. 4-1. What a player. What a god.
That was great. I mean, you know, it was a 4-1 series. It could have been a little closer, but that last game was just showed so much superiority. He knew that there was nothing that was going to affect him on the board. Might as well play it safe. And he was totally right. To play around that was absolutely mind-blowing to me. I think 100 different warriors would have all died in that same position. 2 innervates even.
Would
like
Fibonacci have died to that? That's
yes, I think so.
Yeah,
because
really
he had 9 mana, right? So even if he had double combo plus innervate, he couldn't play it on that turn. He actually needed double combo plus 2 innervates, which was all of the cards in his hand that he had. And
Strifecro knew
he played around
every card in Neira's hand. Insane, dude. Props to Neira, however. Great priest deck. We surely enjoyed that match.
Yeah. And
next up, we're going to have the F-God, as some people like to call it. I'm sure some people like to call him that. Going up against Roots Osaka. So we'll be back in 5 minutes with that.